I'm going to skip to the living trust because this is what we really came for. Let me tell you that each of these words means something. They're not just up here just because I thought they would be cool to say revocable living trust. Think of the living trust as basically as a method to prevent a problem, number one. But you see the word trust right here? You guys have already, in a way, created your trust. How many of you guys have written a check in your lifetime here? Put your hands up. I got her to do her hands up. I kind of only went like this, but I got you to do it. I knew I'd get her. Anyways, when you write a check, a little chequecito, what do you guys usually do? You put for the favor of, and then the amount, and then you endorse it, right? But while it's still in your checkbook, who's the owner and the manager of the checking account? You are. You can deposit, you can withdraw, correct? As long as there's money in there. And so, but when you write the check and you give it to, sorry Becky, I gave it away a check. When you give it to somebody, what do? They take it immediately and cash it at the bank. You basically just made a promise, and it's in writing. It's a very simple promise, and that promise is to give that person that amount of money against that account. So the trust is really the same thing. You're basically making a promise while you're alive, just like the check, to give an asset to the future beneficiaries. But if she misbehaves, I'm taking that back, and I'm voiding it. Sorry, you don't get it. That's because you didn't raise your hand. No, just kidding. Which you kind of went like that. Okay, so I give it back to you, but I just ripped it, sorry. But anyways, that's what it is. It's a promise that you're making today so that in the future you're going to make a gift. But you guys always have to be mindful that your parents or whoever creates that promise can always make small changes to the terms or how the gift is given. So that's the beauty of the trust, because now you're not giving away something. Like Becky voluntarily gave her that little package right there. She can't get that back unless you're willing to give it back to her. So she made what's called an irrevocable. Yeah, so she's like,
so you have to make sure you're giving it to the right person.
Exactly, but if you change your mind, you can.
Okay, so my question is.
Here we go, first question.
If I have someone that I want them in my trust, and they owe money somewhere else, or like you said, tax to the IRS.
Or child support.
Or child support, or anything, right?
Because,
do we become liable for that?
No, because why you,
right?
That's
what I was.
Why you have the check in your hand, the gift has not been given yet. But unlike Becky, look that way. Unlike Becky, she already gave the farm. She gave these little gifts.
That's what I mean. She gave it.
But we're not giving it because our gift is conditioned on us using it while we're alive. Yeah, don't forget. You get it, but wait till I kick the bucket until I go to that big party in the sky.
Now, she would only be liable, or the property would, if she includes it in the deed of that property.
That's what Becky made a really good point. And if you
so back up, can you repeat that again?
What she's basically saying, if you did the mistake to put mijo or mija on title with you, now you're basically inviting more problems, because whatever problems they go through, the other vicariously unfortunately goes through.
For not being responsible.
Exactly. So by having the trust, you get to have your cake and eat it too. You're able to hold on to that checkbook, that proverbial checkbook. You're able to write checks and name whoever you want beneficiary. One day it's her, one day it's someone else. If they get ticked off and they don't show up to birthday parties or they don't show up for Christmas. Oh, you don't want to see me this year? No problem. I'll just go back to see Attorney Soto and we'll make an amendment to our trust, and no worries. When you want to see me, we'll put you back in.
So does the person have to be present when you do the trust, or can they not be there?
Well, the person who writes the trust has to be present.
Right, but I mean, the second.
No, they don't have to be present. When you write a check, do you have to have them in front of you to write the check? You can write it in the convenience of your home, in your desk, in your escritorio, in your office, and then you can mail it to them. All right, or bring it to the party with you, right?
Okay.
So that's the beauty of the trust, because while you're alive, you're maintaining your assets, your home, your bank accounts, whatever things you put into the trust. And then when you're done using them, whatever's left over, is what they get minus expenses. Obviously, if there's a mortgage on your home, or if you owe credit cards or last illness or funeral
Right,
expenses.
that'll come off the top, and then they'll get what's
Exactly.
rest, okay.
Exactly, and then you get what you get, and you don't throw fit, right?
That's right.
That's what's left over. So that's how we avoid probate, because we're basically creating that contract ahead of time. Now, I don't want you guys to get confused. Just because you create the trust, you don't just put it away for 30 years and expect for it to just be up to date, because your life changes. People get, I hate to say it, in California, they get divorced. Can you believe that? That happens here. And then they get remarried.
50% of the times,
Hey,
they say.
and
I had more than 1 year.
yeah, community property, baby. And so,
I just
But
wanted
do
to,
they,
oh, I'm sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
sure.
I just wanted to mention from the lender's point of view, those deeds that people transfer or add people to their state, to their title. We are finding more and more that title companies are not able to insure a new transaction because there was not a legal entity involved in that addition to the title of the property. And it's creating a lot of problem where people, sometimes the people are gone, they're dead, the ones that were put on title, and it's like, what a mess.
All title companies do what? They ensure proper title, the proper transference of one property to the other, and making sure that whatever I paid her, I make sure that that title to me is clear of any problems, clean of cloud on title. Have you guys ever seen The Incredibles, that little, cartoon movie?
Oh, yeah.
The dad works for an insurance company, and there's a little boss. He's about this tall. And we had InsureCare here. We want to collect premiums. We want to be in the black. So title companies are smart. They're not dumb. They're not going to insure something that they can't promise or protect. So they want to make sure the title passes to someone else, and that we don't have any problems putting a mijo or someone who is now going back to Mexico is no longer available here,
Yeah.
who's supposedly guaranteeing the loan. So that's why when you guys do these fancy loans and stuff like that, you can create a real problem with your estate. And you want to maintain it nice and clean, and setting up your living trust and set up your estate plan can help you avoid some of those problems, in addition to avoiding the local courts, which is what she's pointing out, basically.